Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Healthy Her podcast. First up, I just want to welcome all of our new followers and subscribers from all around the world. And it makes me so happy to hear that so many of you are loving your free download. That's my Healthy Eating and Weight Loss Essentials Kit. If you haven't downloaded it already, I will pop it in the show notes for you below, or you can also head to my website, theactivebod.com, and download it straight from there. It's got lots of recipes for you to try, meal ideas, weight loss tips, everything that you need for a fresh dose of inspiration and to kickstart your healthy eating journey again. So it makes me so happy that so many of you have downloaded it and that you are loving it as a free tool and a free resource to use. Today's episode is all about motivation, and I wanted to jump on and record this morning because when I got up this morning, I was not motivated to get up and go to the gym. Now, if you're someone that has followed me for a while and follows me on my social media, that's my Instagram. So it's the Active Bod, all one word. I like to get up every morning and I like to start my day with exercise. And the reason I do that is because one, I exercise before my brain has worked out what I'm doing. And two, because like most people, in the afternoon and evening, I am feeling lazy. I'm tired. I don't want to exercise. So for me, working out in the morning, generally early morning, is what works best for me. And today I just didn't feel motivated. And when I was doing my workout on the cross trainer this morning, I was just thinking that how the old me would always wait and rely on motivation in order to take action. So I wanted to record this episode for you so that I can help you shift your mindset from that constantly waiting to feel motivated and inspired to do things that are best for you. So when it comes to exercise and healthy eating, and what you can do instead. So what you can do instead of sitting around waiting for motivation, because unfortunately, motivation is not something that we can rely on. It's just not. And that's why we need to start focusing on other things that will get us moving closer to our goals and start making us take action towards the things that we want. So I just want to start by saying that number one, you don't need motivation or to feel inspired to take action towards your goals. And that is the truth. The honest truth is, if we all just sat around and waited until we felt motivated to do something, we'd never do anything. Let's be honest. Who feels motivated to go and make their dinner? No one. Who feels motivated to jump out of bed at 5 o'clock and do their exercise? Most people don't feel motivated. And that's why it's something that you just don't need. And it's something that you can't rely on. And it's not something that is reliable for you. But in order to understand why we don't need motivation, I think it's really important that we talk about briefly before I get stuck into what you can do about it, is as a society, I want to talk about why we've become so reliant on motivation. And it's because we've gotten so comfortable. So if you think about it, in today's society, we literally have everything at our fingertips. Everything. I'm hungry. I'm going to order Uber Eats. I need to find something out. I'm going to jump on Google. I want to watch a movie. I just need to like stretch my arm out, grab the remote and put on Netflix and start watching my favorite show. So, unfortunately, society has made us very comfortable. And that's why motivation and feeling inspired is something that is unfamiliar to a lot of us because society has taught us that we don't really need to put much effort in to get the things that we want. We have everything at our fingertips now. And so that's why we've almost lost the art of feeling motivated and feeling inspired to do things because everything just comes so easily to us. So I think it's really important that you understand that's where it's come from. And as a society, we are super comfortable. And that's why when it comes to healthy eating and weight loss, so many of us struggle because you have to get uncomfortable. Healthy eating and weight loss is the biggest, I cannot stress this enough. It is one of the biggest personal development journeys that you will ever go on. And so you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get a bit messy. You have to deal with the parts of yourself that you realize were holding you back. You have to put in effort. You have to be persistent. You have to show up when you don't want to. And all of these feelings come with being uncomfortable. And unfortunately, as a society, we just don't like to feel uncomfortable because we have a comfortable life and we have all the things that we need at our fingertips. So I just really want to stress that's where it comes from. And it is okay to get uncomfortable. And unfortunately, if you do want real change and you do want to get results, you have to be prepared to feel uncomfortable for a while. Okay, so I also want to talk about motivation and how it's actually linked to our purpose. So think about this, like when you feel motivated to go and work out, you're going to the gym for a reason. You're going to the gym to burn calories. You're going to the gym to slim your thighs. You're going to the gym to tone your arms. You are going to the gym to get a flatter tummy. So your motivation to take action and your motivation to go and do things is linked to that purpose. That's your sole purpose. I'm only motivated and I'm only going to go and do something if I get something out of it in return. And unfortunately, what happens is if you've listened to the podcast and followed me for a while, you know that weight loss is a slow process. It takes way longer than we are led to believe. And so when we get motivated and we go to the gym and we work towards getting those things and we don't get them straight away, well, we just quit. So our motivation is linked to your purpose. If you're only exercising for a smaller tummy or to slim your thighs and you don't get those results straight away, you're not going to do it for very long. Your motivation's going to fade and you're not going to consistently show up. And it's that cycle that we get stuck in around motivation. And this is the thing with motivation is that you can't just show up and be motivated to do something that's good for you just because you're going to get an outcome straight away. That's not how it works. So it's really important, like I said, one, to work out why we've become so comfortable and why we don't like to get out of our comfort zones and feel uncomfortable for a while. And also to how our motivation is linked to a purpose, that we're only going and doing things if we get a specific outcome in a specific period of time. So, what do we do about this? So, what do we do as women so that we can stop relying on motivation and actually start taking action towards the things we want? Now, everyone's goals around healthy eating and weight loss can often be different. Some women just really want to get in control of their eating and their food and to not have to think about food all of the time. That might be a goal for some. It's weight loss and a significant amount of weight loss. Some women that I work with might want to lose 5 kilos or 10 kilos, or some have got want to lose 40 kilos. So often women, we all have a slightly different goal when it comes to healthy eating and weight loss. But unfortunately, motivation is needed to achieve none of them because motivation is not something that you can rely on. Motivation comes and goes. And I can tell you, even the most highly successful people in the world do not feel motivated all the time. Think about famous athletes. If they're training for something, for the Olympics, for whatever it is, they don't wake up every day and go, yeah, let's go train. Let's go do this for the next 5 hours. They just don't, but they show up because they know they can see the sort of long-term goal and that's what keeps them showing up. Please know that even the most successful people in the world are not motivated to do things every single day. And to be honest, that's why they're successful because they realize Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes and they just can't rely on it. So they always show up because they can see the future version of them in the efforts that they're making, and that's what keeps them showing up. All right, so let's jump in and talk about what do we do? So we've discussed that motivation, there's no point. We can't rely on it. It's not something that is going to hang around. It's not something that's going to show up for us every day. So what can we do instead? So number one, stop relying on motivation. Just make that mindset shift and say, okay, well, how do I feel today? Who cares? You have to stop letting your mood and how you feel dictate what you do. If I let myself do that, I wouldn't do anything because your mood is so up and down. Like some days you wake up and you feel amazing and you want to do all the things. And then other days you don't feel like doing anything, or your morning might start out really well and then something happens in the middle of the day and then it just totally sets you off to have a bad day for the rest of the day. You cannot rely on motivation. You can't rely on your mood. So you have to sort of almost step outside of yourself and stop relying on your mood, on how you feel to decide if you're going to do something. So when you wake up, am I going to eat healthy today? You have to stop letting your mood dictate the things that you do because you won't always feel like doing the things. The thing is, though, you don't ever regret it afterwards. You just don't always feel like it in the first place. So you just have to push past that and just ignore your mood and just start making things happen and just start taking action regardless of how you are feeling, whether it's you're tired, bad night's sleep, feeling emotional, the kids have upset you, whatever it is, you cannot let your mood dictate the actions that you take because it's one of the biggest things that's holding you back. Okay, number two. So, what are we going to do about this so we can stop relying on motivation? Number two is to shift your focus. So, what I want you to do instead of, well, I'm going to go to the gym and focusing on what am I going to get out of this? I'm going to get my smaller legs. I'm going to get toned arms. I'm going to get a flatter tummy. I'm going to have less cellulite. So, I want you to shift your focus. So, instead of the focus on, well, if I go and do this thing, now, what am I going to get out of it? What immediate thing am I going to get out of it? I want you to shift your focus to how am I going to feel after I do this thing? So, how are you going to feel after you do the thing? So, instead of waking up in the morning and going, right, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym this morning because I know after I do a workout that I feel better. I feel calmer around my family. I sleep better. I have more energy. So it's really about shifting your focus from that, what's the immediate thing I'm going to get from this, to how am I going to feel after I do the thing. It's the same with healthy eating. If you're faced with that choice of, well, I'm going to spend 10 minutes and I'm going to put together a really quick, easy, nourishing meal. Again, don't think, oh, well, if I eat that junk food, I'm going to put on weight. No, think, well, hang on a minute, shift your focus. So, what am I going to get from the fact if I spend that 10 minutes, just that extra 10 minutes, instead of going through the drive through and making myself that nourishing meal? How are you going to feel after that? You're going to feel good. You're going to feel satisfied. You're going to feel full. You're going to feel energized. So, it's all about focusing on how you will feel after doing the thing. Are you ready to step into a vibrant community of health-conscious women where your journey to helping feel easy begins? Welcome to the Healthy Eating Hype Gal community, your ultimate destination for mastering your relationship with food and embracing a healthy lifestyle. As a busy working mum who's lost 10 kilos, I've been through it all and I understand the struggle. That's why I'm here to teach you the exact steps and tools I use to lose weight, conquer my mindset and thrive, all while juggling the demands of everyday life. Say goodbye to no more confusing fad diets or overwhelming nutrition advice. In this community, I'll guide you through the maze of weight loss and healthy eating and explain it to you in a way that finally makes sense. From easy, family-friendly meal plans to my exclusive calorie deficit quick guide, monthly masterclasses, plus so much more, so you can finally make healthy eating an achievable lifestyle without restriction. It's time to ditch the confusion and overwhelm for good. Join today and kickstart your journey to a healthier, happier you. There's no perfect time to start. Let's make your wellness dreams a reality. Okay, tip number 3, you need to start learning to step outside of yourself. Now, you're probably thinking, what does that actually mean? So, you need to step outside of yourself and start picturing yourself and projecting yourself into the future version of you and asking yourself, how are you going to feel after you do this thing? So, when I get up and I go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, often, like most of the time, my kids are asleep, my husband is asleep, I get up. I don't feel motivated. It's dark, it's cold, I'm tired. There's a million excuses about why I don't have time to get up and go to the gym. But what I do is I step outside of myself and I picture future me. So I picture future me after I've done my workout and how I feel. I feel better. I have more energy. I have more clarity. Exercising in the morning can have this massive impact on how your entire day runs. So I put myself in the future version of myself and how I'm going to feel after I do the thing. And what that helps me do is it just helps me show up. It helps me go, okay, I know I'm going to feel really good after I do this. So I'm just going to ignore all of those excuses and I'm just going to show up anyway. I always like to explain motivation in relation to brushing your teeth because I think it's a really important analogy. So think about it in the morning. They say that we should brush our teeth at least twice a day, morning and night. So you get up in the morning. Do you give a second thought to brushing your teeth? Do you go, oh, big breath? Okay, I'm going to get motivated to brush my teeth. So I'm walking over to the bathroom bench. I'm going to take the lid off the toothpaste. You just don't do that, do you? Because it's like a second nature to you. You've done the thing so often that it has just become second nature for you. And that's the same with motivation. Like you don't feel motivated to brush your teeth every morning. You just do the thing because you've done it so many times. And that's the same when it comes to exercise and healthy eating. The more you do it, the more you just do it without even thinking about it. And you just keep showing up without all of that thought and that waiting for motivation, waiting to feel inspired. So always relate it back to brushing your teeth. It's the same with feeling motivated to go and exercise or make yourself a nourishing meal. All right, let's jump into number 4. I want you to start swapping your motivation to something that is more reliable. We've talked about the fact that motivation comes and goes. It's not something or someone or anything that you can ever count on to move you closer to your goals because it's comes and goes. It's not something that shows up for us every day. It shows up sometimes, then it doesn't show up for a while, then it might show up a week later. So I want you to swap your motivation and do something that you can actually rely on. So what do I mean by that? So, things that you can rely on is writing your workouts in your calendar, in your notes, in your diary, whatever works for you. Write down your workouts in your calendar and make them as little meetings during the week that you have made with yourself and make them happen. That commitment that you made to yourself to go to that gym class at 5 o'clock is going to be staring at you in the face all the time during your day when you're working through your calendar or when you're at your work desk during the day. That is something that you can rely on. Another one is putting your workout clothes in a pile at the end of your bed or in the next room, wherever you are going to get organized for your morning workout. Put them in a pile so they're ready to go so you don't have to think about what you have to wear. So you just get up, you get dressed, and you head out the door. So those things are reliable. Motivation is not. Another example is planning your family dinners for the week. Now, if you don't plan out your dinners, what's going to happen? You're going to come home from work and you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel worn out. You're not going to want to make decisions about what to eat, and you're going to end up whacking some nuggets and chips in the oven, getting some takeaway or Uber Eats. Planning your family meals for the week is something that you can count on because if you have planned your dinner, you will just know that when you head off to work that day, when you come home in the afternoon, that's what you're having for dinner. You've got the ingredients, and all you have to do is take the things out of the fridge, spend 10 minutes cooking, and you've got a healthy, nourishing meal to feed your family. That is reliable. Motivation is not. Going to work in the morning and going, going to feel motivated after I've worked 7 or 8 hours to come home and cook a nourishing, delicious meal for me and my family. So, planning out your family dinners is a method or a system that you can rely on. So, it's all just about swapping your motivation for things that are reliable. Motivation isn't reliable, planning your meals is reliable. Okay. Putting your workouts in your calendar is reliable. Putting your workout clothes by your bed is reliable. They are all things that you can count on. So it's really about just shifting your mindset and the way that you view motivation, because I promise you, you are so much more capable of more things than you think that you are. But what you're doing is you're waiting for this inspiration and this motivation to hit to start eating better and looking after yourself and doing daily workouts and all those kind of things. And it's just not going to come. It's this mindset and waiting for motivation that is keeping you stuck. So we have to shift our mindset and start putting things in place that we can actually rely on. I also want to, in this episode, share with you one of my secrets to success and something for me that has definitely helped me, because I know that we talk about like weight loss and fat loss. And yes, it's great to drop 5 kilos, 10 kilos, 20 kilos, whatever your goal is. Yes, that's great. And it's an awesome effort and you should be commended and it's amazing and all of those things. But the real achievement is being able to maintain that weight loss for the long term, because you have to keep showing up as that same person and you have to stop relying on motivation to keep you doing the things that got you there in the first place. So, one of my secrets to success and something that has really helped me is I focus on the feeling. I focus on how me doing the thing is going to make me feel. And what I've found in my experience is focusing on the feeling has kept me coming back to living a healthy lifestyle every single time. Because let's say I've gone away on a holiday and I've eaten a bit too much and I come home and I feel a bit gross. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I haven't necessarily put on weight, but I feel a bit gross. I feel bloated. My skin's a bit not as clear. Like, I just don't feel my usual happy, energized self. The feeling is what keeps me going back every time. It's that feeling, because when you get to that point where you know just how good you can actually feel on a day-to-day basis when you eat well and you exercise and you take care of yourself consistently, you don't want to go back. You just don't. And every time I've gone off track, I've been away on holiday, we've had Christmas or lots of things on, or I've just gotten busy and I've stopped like eating as many vegetables, or I haven't had as much protein, all those kind of things. I go, you know what? I want to go back to that feeling. I want to go back to feeling my best. And that's the thing when it comes to any healthy eating and weight loss effort. And that's what I say to a lot of the girls in the Hype Girl membership is you just have to do it long enough to see some results and start to get that feeling, because I promise you, once you know what it feels like and how damn good you can actually feel, you just won't want to go back. And it's that feeling of feeling good and showing up as the best version of you that will keep you coming back. It'll keep you exercising regularly. It'll keep you eating healthy consistently. It's that feeling. So that's something I really want to end this episode with. I want you to start focusing on the feeling that you're going to get when you do those things. Okay, how are you going to feel afterwards? And I want you to keep going back to that feeling. So, how did I feel after I did that walk? Wow, I felt amazing. How did I feel after I ate a high protein breakfast? Wow, I felt like this, because it's that feeling that you'll want to keep coming back to. Okay, there is nothing better. And I think that's a problem with our society, because we're so busy and time poor and hectic. We've all just gotten kind of used to the fact that we're supposed to wake up and just feel really crappy and tired and not feel comfortable in our skin. And I promise you, there is a total other way to feel. And once you get to that point where you can wake up, you've got lots of energy, you feel good, you sleep well, you can wear the clothes that you want, I promise you, you just won't ever want to go back. I really hope that today's episode has helped give you a shift in your mindset around motivation, because I can honestly tell you, in my DMs, in my emails, comments on my Instagram posts and stuff, that's probably the number one thing that comes through. I'm like, Jen, what do I do? I'm not motivated. Jen, I don't feel motivated. Jen, how do I get inspired to lose weight? And that's what I really wanted to focus on in this episode, is just not something that you can rely on. It is not something that you can count on. It's holding you back. Waiting for motivation to take action is holding you back. So you have to stop letting your mood and how you feel dictate the action that you take. Just take the action. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be this amazing workout, but you just have to take action. You just have to do something small every single day to move you closer to your goals. And I promise you, if you do that and you stop waiting on this unreliable thing called motivation, you will get to that healthiest, happiest version of you that you want, because she's in there. She just has to stop waiting on motivation to get her started. I hope that you found today's episode super helpful. I would be so grateful if you could screenshot this episode and share it to your social media, because I know that there are so many other women out there that could benefit from this message about motivation. And as always, if you love the episode, I would be so grateful if you could leave a 5-star review. But if not, I will catch you in our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing, because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @theactivebod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.